I'll make a little comparison video here of my 2024 Rave or Rave 850 and my 900R Xterrain that you've seen in the last video. Just kind of go over the differences between the two, what either one excels at, and which one you might be interested in getting if you're considering either an Xterrain or a Rave. I know this isn't a direct comparison. I kind of wish I had an 850 Xterrain to compare to a 900 Xterrain, but you might be between the two chassis, and this might help you a little bit. It's just some of my personal opinions on it. So I was going to do this video on the snow, but it's pretty cold out and I didn't have anyone else to ride the second machine, so the garage was the next best thing. Just gonna kind of do a walk around, show you the differences in the Rave that we've done. Obviously the Lynx saddlebags, these things are awesome. Pop off with just one clip. Off you go. They're great. I'll probably do another video just on the bags. XRS seat on this one. We changed that out. This one's a little wider, a little more comfy if you're riding it all day long than the Lynx seat, which is taller and firmer. This one has Sled Addicts knee pads. If you don't know about them, check them out. They're on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll probably put a link in for those knee pads. They're great guys. They offer knee pads for a bunch of stuff, and we'll be putting those on the Xterrains as well. We done some riding on the race sleds yesterday, and knee pads are a must. So, the Rave got the adjustable brake lever from factory. It's really cool. The Xterrain don't come with that, but I'll be adding it. This one got the wide lights. It's a Lynx accessory. Don't really gain much distance with them. They're certainly not a light bar, but they add a little bit of light to the side, and I found them on Facebook and they were cheap, so I figured I'd try them. Both got Simmons skis. Overkill on a 137, absolutely, but I'm just used to the skis, so I didn't want to try anything else. Both got the Qualo pieces, Trailblazers, ice scratchers. They're on the shock bolts, they're great too. There's a Brutal bumper on this one, the 2024 Lynx Brutal. It's a little more heavy duty than the stock one. Other than that, that's what we've added to the Rave. You'll see the Xterrain, the bodywork, side panels, and whatnot hood is a little bit wider than the Rave. They gotta do that 5900 in there, I'm told. So there's nothing you can do about it. It is a bit wider. It's awesome for wind deflection. It's a really warm sled to ride. But one complaint that I've heard people talk of is when you're sat down, and I can't really mimic it, when you're sat down with the wide side panels, it's hard to position the front end of the sled. You can just kind of see the ski tips, barely. So when you're going down a tight trail, if you're not used to the machine, you might get pretty close to some trees. Whereas the Rave, it's a bit sleeker, a bit slimmer. And you can see the arms and the skis and everything pretty good. That's when you're sitting down. When you're standing up, it's still a little harder to position the front end on an Xterrain, 900R anyway. But it's minor stuff, but it's good to make people aware of it. The Rave has the trail chassis, we'll say, which is short drop brackets and short chain case, whereas the Xterrain has the long brackets and long chain case, more the mountain stuff. The Rave, because of that, is a lot more confident and inspiring at high speeds, choppy lakes, bumps, stuff of that nature. It doesn't get as excited in the back end because it sits slower. It's almost impossible to show you on video, but the Rave definitely sits slower on the snow or shorter on its legs. And when you're going really fast, and I'm talking 140, 150, 60, 70, 80, that this one is definitely more stable than the Xterrains are. One complaint about the Rave is powder coat's peeling off the tunnel. 1,800 kilometers on this machine, and anyway, it's minor, but it's noticeable. I think that's remedied on all the 25, because this 24 was last year with a red tunnel. So everyone wants to know about power plant and which one I prefer and why I switched from an 850 to 900, because I raced an 850 in 2024 and the plan was to race 2 Rave 850s in 2026. And obviously I've mentioned that we're racing 900Rs. Basically, we wanted a bit more reliability out of a 900 and not having to carry oil. 4-stroke, these 900, at least the naturally aspirated ones, have been known to go for double, triple, quadruple the kilometers of an 850. So it's nice to know that we won't have to worry about an engine blowing up, hopefully. How do they compare power-wise? The 850, as everyone knows, has lots of power, but the 900, the boost and the feel of it on the lake, the power curve, it just feels linear and it keeps pulling and pulling and pulling, whereas an 850 kind of falls off. The boost is addicting on 900. Not gonna lie, I've never been on a lake on the 900 and said I really wish I was on my 850, but I've been on a lake on my 850 and said I really wish I was on the 900. So take that for what you will. Fuel consumption, still can't really comment. Haven't had them out side by side. Gonna try to test that out as soon as the weather gets a little warmer. Go run them right to empty and see how they do. If you're like a ditch banger, really big bump, just going out to have fun, play on, you're gonna like the Rave more, and I think that's obvious, than the Xterrain, whether it's the Xterrain 850 or 900. The Rave is like a YZ 125. Reminds me just of a dirt bike. Go out, have fun, do wheelies, jump off stuff, drop off stuff, hit whatever you want at as fast as you want. And it just works. It responds well to anything you throw at it. You can hit like big whoop bumps as fast as you can hold onto the handlebars for. So that's a really cool thing about the Rave. The Xterrain is a little longer, 146 versus 137. So if you're going off trail and in the powder and this and that, this one's probably a little bit better. I can't really comment on it because we don't have much snow this year and I just haven't had an opportunity to take it off trail very much. Little bits here and there, but not enough to really give my feedback on it. So take that for what you will. If you're a long distance rider and you're doing mostly either groom trails or lake running or bogs or just putting hundreds of kilometers on a weekend, you're gonna like the 900 more, in my opinion. It's nice not having to carry oil. It's one less thing you got to worry about. It's not bad on fuel if you're dodging line. It's really comfortable going like 120, 130 on the lakes. If that's the kind of riding you're doing, trips, going to the camp, lakes, broom trails, and stuff like that, you're gonna like the 900R more. Like I said, if you're a big bump rider and you're just looking to have fun, ride it like a YZ, go buy yourself a Rave. You will thank me later. Everyone cannot believe how well this sled rides in the bumps. It's made a lot of people a believer of the Lynx platform, me included. So if that's the kind of riding you're doing, and you just want to go out and put a massive smile on your face, buy the Rave. What one would I take if I could only have one? That's a hard question. In a perfect world, I didn't pick an Xterrain for the long track. In a perfect world, I'd like to see a Rave 900R. I think that chassis, with the 900R still Lynx, not a Renegade, would be absolutely perfect for most of what I'm doing besides the off-trail stuff. They're only 37 pounds difference on paper. Can you feel it? Well, everyone has their opinion on that. Some people say you can definitely feel it, and some people say you can't. In the tight woods, maybe you can feel a little bit of the way of the four-stroke. Other than that, I personally don't think you can. If they made a Rave 900, I would be beating down the door trying to get one. So I really think, other than doing some off-trail in the powder navigating, a Rave 900 would suit me well. But for right now, that's not an option. So if I want a 900, I need to buy an Xterrain. So if I only had to pick one, that would probably be my choice. Just because it gives a bit of versatility. The reliability of a 900 is top notch. They go for many thousands of kilometers. So that's my thoughts on the two machines. I don't dislike either one. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. It's just before you buy one, really sit down and think about what you're going to do and be honest with yourself. A lot of people think they're a snowcross racer until they get on a machine and then realize they're really not a snowcross racer. Don't buy a sled that it's not suited to you. If you want to go out and have fun, hit bumps for an hour, buy a Rave. If you want to go out and run 500 kilometers down the lake, buy an Xterrain 900. Maybe I'll get my hands on an Xterrain 850 and be able to compare more the two Xterrain platforms, but for right now, that's all I got. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble on, and hopefully in the next video, you'll see some more riding, and we'll go from there.